We've done so much with Purple Power over the last week, but now we have to really refocus because we understand a lot of people are not working in our benefit. We have Mitch McConnell who's closed the Senate so that we can't have a law. So we have that problem we need to push with. We have Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin, which is the same old problem as ever. You know, she's at 600, he's at 400, and they want to go to their graves, not moving at 500. We have that problem. We have all the Democrats who think that we're going to forget that they haven't given us stimulus. And so seats for stimulus is even more than ever important. We're just out, days away from the election, and all these nincompoops have done nothing to give you stimulus. We had what was it? 10 plus 14 people who voted against Nancy's bill last Friday. Well, have they done anything since then that is vocal to show to Nancy, get this done bipartisan? We have that issue. Then we have a president whose concern tonight is more about driving around a block in an armored vehicle where the air recirculates because it's an armored vehicle next to a Secret Service man, so we can do a press op more than giving stimulus checks out by executive order. We have a lot of mixed messages, a lot of people with no priorities in touch, and this is amid people who have done things counterintuitive throughout this entire pandemic. It's now more than ever that you see the importance of the Purple Power. And tonight is a major call to action, one of the most major calls to action of this channel since we first backed the Problem Solvers bill. Tonight I'll go through all those and more. And this is Purple Power. Hey, good evening, everyone. Hope you're good and safe. This is a special edition of Purple Power, with a night in which a lot of people and a lot of groups are working against us. And they're working against us, the American people, not just Republicans and Democrats. They're working against everyone. So please go to the front of the channel, subscribe if you're not part of this community that really works in a wonderful way to help one another. Help one another get through this. Please join. Please join. This should be the most subscribed channel on the face of the planet, in the entire universe. In the entire casino, every casino. I'm just being silly, and also like this video. All right, let me get to the breaking details tonight. What I'll be going over are deal times, routing times, Senate, and twists. First, let me go over deal times. If Nancy and Steve made a deal tomorrow, then you would, under a normal circumstance, which was up until Saturday, be able to have a law within 3 business days. Correction, 2 business days. Because basically what would happen once Nancy and Steve have an agreement is that the agreement will be taken to the Senate. Nancy's Heroes Light bill that passed last Friday, it has been sent from the House to the Senate. It is no achievement. It is no achievement that it's been passed from the House, from the Senate, House to Senate. Every bill passes from the House to the Senate. They teach that on Schoolhouse Rock. I'm a bill, I'm only a bill, sitting on Capitol Hill. After the bill passes the House, it goes to the Senate. Every bill does that. But once it lands in the Senate, the bill gets revised again. It's the revision that Nancy and Steve agree upon that will be embodied and incorporated into the Senate bill. That's how it works. What ultimately happens is then that Senate bill then goes to the president. So you could get this done in 2 days. One day the Senate votes, and the second day the president approves it. You could almost do it on the same day if you had to do it in a rush scenario. There's a problem. And you've seen the problem all day long since I broke it Saturday morning. Mitch McConnell has put the Senate on recess. So with the Senate on recess, which means it's closed for purposes of voting on a law, you can't have a law made until October 19th. And no one wants to rate their damn butts till October 19th. We waited enough. So how do we get this done now? Well, Purple Power has a lot of different choices. I'll be getting to those in a second. But if we could reopen the Senate or get this done into the Senate by legislative, you could literally have this a law for 24 to 48 hours after Steve and Nancy have an agreement. Next, routing times. The routing times still remain the same as Steve Mnuchin has always represented to us, 10 days from the date in which it becomes law. So, for example, if Nancy and Steve had an agreement on Monday, there could be a vote in the Senate on Tuesday if the Senate was not in recess, and the president president could sign the bill by the evening of Tuesday, and then you would add 10 days thereafter to receive your stimulus checks. And I understand if it's a weekend or Sunday, and I'm sitting here recording it on Evenings at LALATE, and you're like, that's a Sunday. How does that work out? LALATE? That's wrong. You understand generally what I'm talking about, and that includes if you're on SSDI, SSI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, and you get electronic receipts of your benefits checks. It also includes whether you pay your IRS taxes by electronic means or things like that. If you do, and you get it, if you don't, you do it by paper check, you just add another week. This is all incredible, great, but the problem is the Senate's closed. And the other problem is that we have all these twists. We have the twists, the concerns that people seem to being told mixed messaging by Pelosi and Mnuchin, mixed messaging by the president. And I mean, there's so much other stuff which I could go into, but I'll just briefly say, I mean, why is Nancy Pelosi not self-isolating for 14 days? Mnuchin was in the presence of the president on Wednesday in the Oval Office. The president was positive on Wednesday. Mnuchin was negative on Friday. Pelosi was negative on Friday. But Pelosi met before press and had press interviews on Saturday. I mean, and she's the one that talks about science? Okay, but let me focus on your checks. So as we focus on your checks and the Purple Power and where we should really put our efforts, where should they be? I'm going to be going over those right now. First effort is Mitch. You saw that image I tweeted last night that shows an image of Mitch's office door. You gotta keep on that image. That image is, I think, the most important message that Purple Power has right now, which is get the Senate open. Get the Senate open. And I gotta tell you, this sounds inherently crazy, but the vast majority of broadcast news appear to not know that the Senate's closed. I've been reading the news articles, and they think the Senate's closed, the Senate's open. They don't realize that Mitch put the Senate on recess. Apparently, they miss those news articles on Saturday. So they're reporting this as though, well, Steve and Nancy have an agreement on Monday. We can have a law on Tuesday. I'm like, no, the Senate's closed. Did you not hear? So it's very important to get that Senate open. How can we get the Senate open? We really only, and I got to tell you, it's a precarious cakewalk by constitutional authority. But basically, the only way it can get reopened is either Mitch reopens it, which he's not, well, hold up, I'll get to that in a second. Mitch could reopen it, or the president could order it reopened for purposes of whatever. Let me go over the two elements that are involved here. I pause because there's this weird nexus. The weird nexus is you have to be conscious of people's health. And so Mitch is being conscious of people's health. Other Democrats wanted to close. They're worried about people's health. The president has to be conscious of people's health. Now, let me tell you, if there was no pandemic and no one was sick, this would be the situation. The president has the constitutional authority to reopen the Senate at any time. So he can order the Senate reopened tomorrow by executive order. Would he do it just like that? That would be crazy because people are sick and you can't order people back in session to sit next to sick people. But it is this president who drove around, in the truck tonight. Second, Mitch can order the Senate reopen and just change my mind. I changed my mind. I'm reopening the Senate back open. I made a mistake. We figured out a way to do this. They can both do it. But the issue of Zoom chatting or electronic teleconferencing voting cannot be done by Mitch. It requires all the senators back on the Senate floor and then vote on it and say, yeah, we now approve it. And if you did not miss my broadcast earlier today, I said this was an issue put to Mitch in April, an issue put to Nancy, an issue put to Steny, my favorite person, Steny, and all Steny and Nancy and Mitchie refused to even deal with the situation. So now we have the current problem. So how would Purple Power push this? Well, we should push this with the president to order Mitchie to reopen the Senate by electronic voting. The president should order, by executive order, that Mitch McConnell reopen the Senate for electronic voting. So there's that. Now, seats for stimulus is very important as we sit here tonight, because seats for stimulus is really getting the message strong to these congressional leaders just days before they try to get themselves reelected. They've not given you stimulus. The best that they've done is they broke with party line last Thursday, and voted against Nancy's bill because of the Purple Power. That was an incredible win for us. But since then, they've done nothing. And doing nothing again is not helping us. So we need to push the problem solvers, push the blue dogs, push the New Democrat coalition, say, hey, get the deal done. Nancy and Steve may default back into their comfort zone, which is to do much of nothing. And now the fact that the president is ill and there's people running around crazy with their heads cut off, they may default again to the I'm not going to do much of anything. I'm just not feeling in the mood to work. That old thing. And we don't have Maxine Waters coming in here with a whip saying, get to work, get to work. What the hell's their problem with you? And we really do wish we had her to shout at these people once again. The next push for the Purple Power is that we have to really go back on message, which is urge a bipartisan agreement now. You know, the deal items as we sit here tonight and why we still don't have an agreement is a little bit insanely ridiculous. It is both Steve's fault and Nancy's fault. Let me go over what are the things that are holding this up. This is not the things that they do agree upon. These are the things they don't agree upon. 6 FPUC. They cannot agree upon FPUC. They have not moved since July. In July, he was $400 a week. In July, she was $600 a week. They're still not moving. Ironically, the problem solvers had it between those two. And Steve is not even adopting the problem solvers. Now he's going backwards. I don't know when that happened, but he has gone backwards. The problem solvers are $450 for 8 weeks and 6 weeks and 5 weeks for $600. He's now at just $400. Nancy's just now at $600. Even worse, they're not doing retroactive back to the data which FPUC 1.0 expired. They're doing retroactive to September 5th. I mean, what is September 5th? Where did you get this date from? It's just you just chose a date? It doesn't make any sense. Next, Nancy keeps on throwing things out for the American people and fighting for things for big government. So she's thrown out multiple stimulus checks from the problem solvers. You're supposed to get a second stimulus check in March of next year. Let's not forget that's a check. That's a check. I mean, that's a check we would like to have in March of next year. She's thrown that out. She says, I'm not going to give you the multiple check. I don't know why she doesn't want to give us a multiple check, but wants to give everyone billions of dollars. It's just ridiculous. There's something inherently wrong with it. Steve, we don't know. I think Steve is basically still on the problem solvers, which is the multiple check. The other big development that is the holdout is state and local, which I got to tell you, at this point, I just think both of them are acting a bunch of fools. She's at $400 billion, which is the equivalent of 1.5 years of grants to the states, which is not particularly abnormal. I like that better than giving a raise to the Department of Justice. I mean, that makes no sense. The Department of Justice does not need a raise. And then Steve is at 200. And I have a problem with Steve at 200 for state and local because Mark Meadows said state and local is 150 and the president was double the 300. So why is Mnuchin not at 300 and just saying, Nancy, let's call it a deal, 300? You know, and really, what are we going to do? We're going to hold out because you don't want to give an extra $100 billion to Nancy for state and local. $100 billion? You've given all this other junk to her for all this other stuff you should not have given her, Steve. I mean, all throughout this entire pandemic, you have not asked for other stuff for us, and yet you're fighting tooth and nail not to give money to her for other things. What you should have done, Mr. Mnuchin, is give money for us and then give her the things that she wanted. You know, she wants to spend money, but you should have given her certain things for her spending in exchange for more money for us. Instead, you didn't give us any more money. You didn't do anything more for us. Her, on the other hand, is cutting our stuff as well. So she threw out hazard pay. She threw out our $1,200 dependence checks. It seems as though, this is where people are like, is it too late to write you in as president, LALATE? Yeah. This is where people just don't understand what's going on with this government. She wants more money for states, but not more money for you. He wants less money for states and doesn't want to give you more money either. Okay, so who's fighting for us in this battle? No one, except the Purple Power. It's just... And people wonder why I'm contemplating a new political party. I mean, it's just crazy. You know, when you would watch Real Housewives and be like, okay, Candy Burris is the voice of reason on Atlanta Housewives. She's the only one that seems to make sense. Here, it's like the entire cast is a bunch of crazy fools. And there's no one in the cast of characters, from Mnuchin to Pelosi to McConnell to Schumer. No one in this group is a voice of reason. Not one of them. Even my favorite, Jerome Powell, no voice of reason there. He has billions of dollars for stimulus he has not sent out and will not be sending out. And he has a loan program they call the Main Street Lending Program that no one wants. Seats for stimulus. Vote both these people out. I mean, please get rid of them. Every single one of them. Democrats, Republicans, get them all out. And if this president doesn't give you stimulus, if he doesn't do anything but drive around the corner and wave at people but doesn't give you stimulus, vote him out also, please. I mean, this is enough is enough. This is just, and then vote out all those Republicans that didn't want to give you anything. Remember all those Republicans that called you those names in the month of July and said, you want to get rich on the welfare state, and you want to use the federal government to get rich, and you're just lazy. Just vote these people out. These people don't belong representing our country. Let me answer some of your incredible questions from last night. Marie. If millions of dollars in mortgage transactions, legal documents can be e-signed, then e-voting and bills can be done, can it? No. It has to be changed by vote. The rules are the rules, and you have to reconvene in full session and then change the rules. No, you cannot. They could have fixed this in April when they were healthy. Now they have not. Celicia, Nancy Pelosi doesn't care for anybody. Antonia, the conspiracy against the American people is real. We stand up with LA. God help us. It feels like they really are conspiring against us. Tom, this is so mother effing ridiculous. Vote them out, people. I don't want to see their names in 2021 in office. Did you hear what Tom's video collection just said? He says he doesn't want to see their names in office. So listen to what Tom says and vote every single one of them out. Rebecca, it's just sickening to think how they all living high on hog, living in mansions on our tax dollars, and we are hurting so bad, and they're doing absolutely nothing. They all deserve jail time. They're not only doing nothing, it looks as though they're conspiring to do nothing, which is one of the persons just commented a second ago. One of the things I always go back to, because it deeply bothers me, was the original CARES Act 1, which had multiple stimulus checks in there, and they took it out because they said, we'll get to it later. And they didn't get to it later. Now, you would understand this would be normal if it was with a boss that's a cheap bastard that doesn't want to give you your check and is trying to cheat you out of a check, or a business partner who's trying to cut you out of a deal. But this is the federal government. They're elected by us. Why are they cheating us out of something we're entitled to? And then when FPUC was set to expire, and then FPUC, which they set to expire while it was on their vacation. Who has a program expire when Congress is on vacation? And then before they go on vacation, they don't take care of it, knowing that it's going to come up and go and lapse while they're on vacation. Marta, this government's driving us crazy. Moon, everybody else can work at home, and then why can't they? Elizabeth, they want to revisit the whole thing again so you can direct even more money. Abduni, they're there for their paycheck. They don't care about nobody. Very well said. The Bean, Mitch needs to go to hell. Norma, Moody, never have I seen a lack of faith. There's no battle. We eat or acquisitions. How can this look heroic? Candace, they've never intended on passing anything. The whole fiasco of American expenses has more than a chess game. Politics at its best. No wonder most of us can't stand politicians. Very well said, Candace Clements. Sandra Cush, no one's talking about the problem solvers bill executive orders right now except you. They're also telling you that you have a law because the thing passes in the House. So we don't talk about other people and what they're talking about. Mary Schultz, good evening. Stroke the pen, executive order, stimulus checks. Carol Ain, always remember something. This is a political game. It's drive me riot. Rillo, let congressmen do what they can do. Come election of 2010, you vote them out. Kathy, tell the president to get the money. Jennifer, healthcare workers in every day without hazard pay, so what's their problem? Sarah, none of them have earned a raise. They haven't even worked. I love that. Lisa, don't have enough money for food, or my family can't pay my utilities. Gas has been turned off already, so no heat. It's already 35 to 40 at night. We're the people. We need our money. We need help. Lisa Romer. 21 hours ago. Sharon, the majority of people are in a national emergency. What is it going to take to get these people to get their help? Sunny Tan. In other words, no stimulus money. Cheryl, all I know is God in control of everything, and he's on the right move. Jeff Merritt. The Senate can vote from home just like the House does. Susan Russell, Purple Power in England. Oh, well, thank you for tuning in from England, Susan Russell. If you have questions, this is a nice video. Drop them in the comments below. Come on up tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. is a new edition of Mornings LALATE. Don't miss that. It will be exciting. And day 4 of 14, our special report. I don't know how long 14 is going to last. The president had promised he would be in self-isolation for 14 days. It looks like that's not going to be the case. So I don't know if this will be the last episode of 14 or if it'll be called something else, or who knows. Go to the Friends channel, subscribe. Hope you had a great evening and also like this video. Have a great evening. Stay positive, stay focused, get on social media, start the push, and stay with LA for more.